It's unforgiving love. When will you come around? When will you come around? When will you come around? It's unforgiving love.
First and foremost, if nobody told you as of yet today, I love you. If nobody told you as of yet today, I am proud of you. You're going to continue to achieve anything you set out to do. You understand me? Thank you, babies. Also, you already know I do have to give you that brief disclaimer, right? So I only want you to take what applies and leave the rest behind, chosen ones. I don't want you trying to force certain scenarios for you. If you don't happen to get your confirmation through me, I guarantee you're going to get it through somebody else, all right? So be patient with your process. Also, as you already know, my voice is too raspy to be whispering, all right? So this is about the time that you probably want to go ahead and hit that volume, okay? Now, before we get started, as always, I want to thank you so much in advance for all your love, like, share, subscribe, your gifts, kind words, not only to myself, but each other too. I appreciate you because I don't always get the pause in the middle of my message to relay that to you, all right? I will, for those of you who have to pop in and out, I definitely will post this on YouTube as well. Now, I will say, chosen ones, because it is getting closer to the timeline where TikTok may no longer be available, I would recommend just hitting the link in my bio and subscribing to my YouTube as well, all right? Only because we will then be going to YouTube more as far as more often, okay? So I'll be going from lives from here to lives to YouTube as we make that transition from TikTok, okay? Now, chosen ones, there's a few messages for today. Now, when I tell you that this may not be everybody's message, this may not be everybody's message. Now, with me telling you this as well, chosen ones, there's some of you that you have not reached to the point where you see this happening for you as of yet. So this is almost like preparing you for the next steps that's about to get presented, all right? Now, I say this, chosen ones. The year 2025 is the year of the 9, all right? So that is all about I. That is all about self. That is me. That means everything that you planted, all the seeds that you planted are going to flourish for you. Everything that you have finally realized that you wanted in your life is coming towards you. So this is all those seasons where you were living for everybody else. Those seasons that you placed yourself on the back burner for everybody else. Those times where you were dimming your light to see other people shine. Now, this is your time period where, again, it is all about I, all right? So when I say that, chosen ones, be mindful of how you're talking to yourself. Be mindful of the things that you feel that you can get, because if you see it, you can achieve it, all right? And you can receive it. So even if you do not see it physically, chosen ones, you have to see it to believe it. Some of you feel like because you do not physically see it presented before you, you do not see it happening to you. That's not true. Sometimes it just takes something as simple as you speaking it and you start to daydream about it. So in a sense, you're seeing it and you're going to see it all the way through. So this means that you have to keep that faith within you. You have to keep speaking affirmations on you. You have to keep watering the seeds that you planted, okay? Now, with me saying this, because this is about to be the new year, chosen ones, there's a certain self-realizations that you're going to be encountering, all right? Now, this is going to be, again, you may go through a little, as far as a roller coaster of feelings and fluctuations, but stay with me throughout this message, okay? Now, chosen ones, I say this because there's certain people, all right, that you call judgment on. These are people from the past that you may have encountered. And there's some of you that feel like that person should pay for what they put you through. You may have felt like they didn't reciprocate that energy towards you. You may have felt like they chose other individuals or material things over you, so on and so forth, right? So there's some people that you encountered. And during that time period that you encountered them, you have to realize that you were a reflection of them. regardless if you want to accept it or not, chosen ones, you have to take accountability. There are certain times that you self-sabotage as well, all right? Based upon where you came from, based upon your coping mechanisms, based upon your communication or lack thereof, okay? So with me saying this, you're going to realize that within the next few days, you may have started to self-reflect. So this is you looking back at certain past experiences that you encountered and starting to take accountability for those too, right? So this would be now chosen ones. I'm not talking about people from the past that beat on you. I'm not talking about people in the past that did devious things to you, but there may have people that lied to you or you felt like they cheated on you, but hear me out, all right? So again, this is about self-accountability because you have not always been the perfect person. Was it your intentions to do what you did? No, but have you played the position that other pertaining to you to somebody else? Of course, and I'll explain it, okay? Now, I say this because in the past, chosen ones, there may have been people that you encountered romantically, or you encountered them after having a certain ending, right? So when you met them, you were a reflection of that individual. So if you had abandonment issues prior to meeting that individual, when you met them, you still had abandonment issues and they may have as well. So you could have been abandoned by your family, whereas they could have been abandoned by somebody else. But either way, when you aligned with them, you guys were matching energy. You guys were in similar positions. This is somebody that when you met them, you could have been cheated on and deceived and lied to. So that person could have been and experienced the same thing before they encountered you. So when you met them, again, chosen ones, you were at the frequency, but you may have been in the process of still growing. Whereas some people, they kept cutting themselves down or they couldn't grow to the extent that you was growing as well. So this is comparison to flowers. Some of you encountered people who are like daisies. They're beautiful, but if you was a sunflower, they can't reach the heights as you, right? But again, chosen ones. So there's some people that when you met them, you guys were encountered through y'all's karmic as far as process, y'all's karmic cycle, y'all's lessons that both of you had to learn. Now, during that time that you encountered it, of course, it would have been beautiful for both of you to overcome those obstacles, but there was lessons to be learned. So you could have encountered a person that you were romantically connected to. At that time, you did not realize that they had all of the characteristics of the person that you really wanted for you. But again, chosen ones, is based upon what you previously went through. So you're seeing good qualities in them, but certain situations may have happened where there could have been certain endings, right? Now, I say this because it's all lessons to be learned, right? Because there could have been a time period where somebody wanted to be with you, somebody who wanted to pour into you, be available to you, somebody who was really trying to pursue you, but because of what you went through, you turned down this individual. So you may not have been ready for that commitment yet. You may not have felt confident in yourself and trusted their intentions at that time period. So I want you to realize, chosen ones, that you're not the only person who has went through what you went through, and that sometimes the people that you encountered, they only could communicate based upon what they were learned or they were taught, right? Now stay with me. So when you sat there and encountered this person, they were again cheated on. They were not as confident. Some of them put on a persona like they were, but that was ego, that was arrogance, that was a facade, right? So during that time, one of you needed to take the lead. So you could have been that person where despite what you went through, you poured into this individual, but because they were so used to people doing that, or they may not have been used to that at all, they didn't believe that you had good intentions. They didn't believe that they could live up to your expectations. So some of them self-sabotage. They ran from it. Now, I say this because you've done it too. Either prior to meeting that person or after that person, you encountered individuals who did similar things to you, where again, that person, when they needed love, you seen the things that they wanted to receive. You was willing to let go of what you experienced to be those things for them, and you were expecting to receive it. But at that point in time, they didn't believe that you were somebody who genuinely liked them. Some of them were intimidated by your appearance. Some of them was intimidated by your light because they felt like they couldn't live up again to the things that you expected. So that was self-doubt. That was self-sabotage, where when you were looking at them, you seen them on a soul level. You seen who they were supposed to be and not the thing that they were portraying to be. So when you met them, you had a soul connection because again, you seen them for who they truly were within and not what they were presenting. But some of them allowed certain fears to get to them. Some of them, again, it was the lifestyle or the things that they experienced. So some of these people, chosen ones, may have chose their career over you, or chosen certain individuals that you felt like were more financially abundant than you. See, this wasn't them choosing that type. It was because that's all they were focused on in their life. So because they were focused all about never getting back to where they was, because they could have had a messed up childhood growing up where they could have been limited. These are people that their family could have depended on them. So they felt like if they wasn't working as hard, then other people wouldn't eat, or if other people needed them, that they wouldn't be available to them. So some of this was trained behavior because they were used to being the parent of their household. Some of them played parental figures to their parents as well, where their family needed money and they come to them. Their family needed this, so on and so forth. So when they met you, they were still in this loop or this karmic cycle with these individuals, right? So you were somebody that made them uncomfortable because in order to be with you, they had to change certain cycles. You were providing clarity that at that time they didn't see because they were in the middle of those things. So this is like somebody telling you, hey, calm down, relax. Of course, you're not going to want to hear that. Them telling you, oh, the bee's not going to sting you if you relax. Of course, you're not going to want to hear that. You'll start flapping around or running around, and then it starts to make things more, you understand, heightened at that time, right? So chosen ones, for these individuals, some of you met the divine person that you're supposed to be with, but during that season, God gave you a quick glimpse of what you could have got had you guys chose each other, right? So when they met you, they may not have realized that they wanted love the way that they did, because during that time period, they could have been taught to put their finances over as far as their heart and what they truly wanted. They may not have believed that they can achieve the things that you were seeing or saying, right? So they didn't believe it. Now, I say that some of you are calling judgment or wanting certain grudges to be held on people that you feel like didn't choose you, but chosen one, you've been that to other people, where again, this person was nice, this person was attractive, but they wasn't your person. You didn't feel that spark with them. Some of you could have misled that person because you didn't want to hurt their feelings. So they're telling you, I love you, and you saying love you too, but you know that they're in love with you, but you don't feel that same way towards that individual. There's some of you that were just settling because everybody else told you that this is a good person, but that's not who you truly wanted to be with. There's some of you that, again, limiting thoughts were keeping you from truly believing it and achieving it, right? So I say this, chosen ones, because there's some of you that, now you've heard me say this all the time, if your past is present, then your future is absent. But when I tell you that some people from your past is going to present themselves, but they are not who you met or encountered during that time, they finally healed themselves. Certain things came clear to them. So some of you have met the person that you're supposed to be with during a certain season that you were not seeing it. So again, I'll give you an example. This is like you meeting a masculine, okay, or a feminine. The feminine was showing so much love to you, attention to you, but during that time period, you had a certain structure to your life, right? So this person was nurturing, this person was loving, this person was caring, this person truly wanted best for you, but they may have had certain things that they were going in their life, or vice versa, that you were going through, right? So you guys could have separated. Now, there's some of you chosen ones that are saying that somebody cheated on you, and you have to be real with you. You didn't even have a title with these individuals. You may have felt like because you was around them, because you were with them, because you were doing certain things with them, you guys didn't establish that title. Some of you didn't establish the title because you have commitment issues, because you're scared that when you actually have a title with somebody that they're going to change you, because you're so scared. So a lot of you lose you when you start to connect with the individual instead of just being you, so that, again, that's what the person is attracted to, and it's longevity that comes with it, right? But I say this because reality's about to set in. Those people that you were talking about wasn't shit. Now, some of them ain't shit, chosen ones, okay? But there's some of you that you really were holding certain grudges against a certain person. There's certain people that you really were saying that did you grind me, but you have to step outside of the situation and realize that that's not true. So This could be you were with somebody, you guys never established a title. So because you never established a title with them, they felt like, okay, well, you were keeping your options open. So therefore, if they talked to somebody else that was willing to say, okay, let's have this title now, let's be together now, they took that, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted you. But because you did not present them that opportunity, or you acted like you didn't want it, you was uncertain, they moved on to another individual. That doesn't mean that they didn't like you. That doesn't mean that they don't love you. That just means that you were not available. So they tried to force themselves on to another individual. Well, let me rephrase that. Not force themselves on, but force themselves into a relationship with somebody else. So they looked for qualities in you, in the person that they were connected to. So this is, chosen ones, that you're going to see that the person, that some of the original people that were presented was your divine person. But at that time, you guys still had certain things to work on. You had to find yourself, where you would have been dependent on them. You would have lost your identity trying to overly be something for them. So God had you distance yourself to work on your purpose, work on your confidence, work on not being dependent on somebody because you had abandonment issues, not feeling like, oh, when this person is not available, oh, they don't like you. You were assuming. What if you realized, chosen ones, that God played a tape for you, and all those things that you thought were going on behind the scene were really not? Some of them were, but what if it was just miscommunication? What if it was assumptions based upon past situations? That's now going to get presented, okay? So I say this because there's certain people from your past that are going to present themselves, but they are not who you knew when you met them originally. These are people that when you first encountered them, you planted a certain seed and you went about your business, right? See, when you were with them, you planted a certain vision. You showed love to them, nurturing. So again, that self, at that point in time, they didn't realize that those were the things that they want. Now, some of you are starting to have realizations that everything that you're now writing down or asking God for to get presented, it sounds familiar because it was already presented to you. But because you was in the middle of certain manifestations, because you were closing out cycles, you may not have seen it when it was presented because it wasn't packaged the way that you expected, right? So I want you to know this. There's some people that are coming back from your past. This is why I say you have to be open, because you're starting to realize that, yes, they had the qualities that you wanted in a partner. They had the things. You were looking for a provider. They provided that. But during that time, chosen ones, there's certain things. There's some of you chosen ones where you were with somebody that was doing the best that they could with the circumstances that they had. So they may have worked all the time and you felt like, oh, well, they were focused on finances over you. But really, they were trying to create certain structure so that they could provide certain things to you. There's some of you chosen ones that you're talking about, oh, that person never bought you flowers. They never bought you clothes. They never took you on trips. But what if you found out that they was doing the best that they could with the circumstances that they were provided? What if you realized, chosen ones, that although they put a facade on like money was oh so great and they had money coming in, what if you realized that they were out here taking pay cuts, or they was out here, you understand, limited, and still trying their best to provide certain things for you? So there's some of you chosen ones that because you went through certain cycles where people treated you a certain type of way, when you encountered these people, you put unnecessary pressure on them because you felt like, oh, you deserve these things. When really, chosen ones, you end up turning into the karmic for that person, or you started to, you understand? You switch roles. So be mindful, babies, okay? Because you sometimes have been the issue, all right? Now, that's not saying you intentionally did that, but you may have. Now, there's some people, chosen ones, where, again, because of lack of communication, so that doesn't just fall on you, because had they told you these things, you would have understood them better. You wouldn't have sat there and came across like you was upset or bitter. You would have been somebody that would have been a support system to them. So it's two-sided. Had they told you those things, then you would have sat there and been able to communicate differently. But without no communication, there's typically assumptions where you're feeling everybody else's energy and you're thinking it's coming from that person when really it's people or projections that were connected to them. So certain things are starting to come into fruition, okay? So I say this because a lot of you are getting second opportunities at love. And I say this because, chosen ones, some of you don't realize you may have planted a seed in that person, right? So you could have been the first person that showed them a softer side of them, showed them that it's okay to be vulnerable, right? So at that point in time, when you felt like you needed to walk away because they were not seeming like they were interested in those things, you had to have a distance between them because, again, you had to find yourself. You had to get in alignment. There's parts of you that forgot about you because you were pouring into this individual. You were making them your focal point when they should be just an addition, right? They are an addition to the benefits and blessings that you have, but they're not, shouldn't be the center of your attention, right? Now, with me saying this, so some of you had to put you first, okay? Now, with me saying this, chosen ones, again, you're going to get a second opportunity of love with them because prior to meeting them, and I always talk about this, sometimes you meet the same demon in different disguises, but sometimes you meet somebody who still has or has similarities to a person that you was connected to. So say this new person that you encountered, they had certain qualities to them that you didn't want, but you were willing to accept it. But these are the same things that you said that you wasn't willing to accept from the past person, correct? Or you thought about the past person. You made these assumptions when really it's the new person who has those qualities, when the past person, yes, they had to heal from those things, right? So I'll tell you that, again, if the past is present, the future is absent, but sometimes it could be a new revamped version of person from your past that gets presented. So you're going to see differences. Their communication is going to be different. How they handle things is going to be different. They're going to be more transparent with you. These are individuals that are going to start to show love and affection towards you, but you may be triggered from what you went through with that individual that you are now becoming the other people where you're putting them down when really they are changed or they're changing or they're in the process of they had to, God gave them a second opportunity because now they see the things that they wanted or wanted a person are the things that you had the whole time. So they may have started to date people because they had similarities of you. Like, dang, oh, they like this person because they had similar hairdos, or this person got their attention because something that they said was similar to you. But they don't love those individuals. They love those aspects that they seen of you in them. So there's a lot of endings that are about to occur, okay? Now, again, I say this because I don't want you all to feel, because there's some of you that's like, oh, nah, you're not worried about somebody from the past. Well, some of you, that is the case that you're supposed to stay like that. But there's some of you that do not realize certain changes that are occurring, as well as chosen ones, how you played a position to them, because you have not always been perfect. Just like for them, conversations and communication, you could realize that certain ways was not intentional. They did it based upon what they assumed or they thought that you did, and vice versa, right? So again, this is not somebody who was beating on you. This is not somebody that was doing dark spells on you. But some of you are going to realize that certain things were a reflection of you. So if you raised your vibration, so since the last time you encountered them, you changed tremendously. You set your boundaries, you healed you, how you react to certain things, you found you. So you have to give other people the benefit of the doubt too. This doesn't mean all of you, okay? So I don't want you all going down your address book or going back down memory lane, but I'm telling you, I have to be honest. Some of you are saying absolutely not. Some of you are expecting somebody else from the past to get presented, or some of you are thinking in the whole time, no, it's something else that's God has up his sleeve. But had he told you, you would have already started to deny and decline those things, not realizing that they've been aligned with you the whole time. The same way that you're realizing that your talents that you've had since you was a child, the things that you've been doing since you were a child, are the things that align with your purpose, that God wants to pay you for, that you're aligned. So you're starting to realize qualities about you, and they're doing that too. Now, I say this because when you encounter them, you planted a seed in them, and you may have went about your business. See, I told you that some seeds that you plant, you may not always be around to see them flourish, right? So this would be like if you live in a house and you plant all of these vegetables or you plant all of these flowers, but you move right when you plant them. So the season for them to bloom hasn't arrived yet, right? So you planted that seed, or you planted something and you did never see it. So out of sight, out of mind, you forgot about those things, right? Then all of a sudden one day you're walking and you see something blooming and you forgot about this. So this could be you've planted a sunflower, you planted watermelons or whatever the case may be, never seen them produce. You forgot all about them, but now you went back to an area that you went to, walking and traveling, and you came across something and you realized you finally started to see it bloom. See, these are things that are happening in people that you've encountered. Certain seeds are starting to bloom. They're seeing them clearly. There are certain things that you were not present to see come into fruition or start to flourish or bloom that are now chosen ones. So again, I have to tell you, be open to certain, when you're asking God for your divine person, do not sit there and put, oh, everybody but this person or everybody. No, you say, God, who is truly divinely for me, I ask you for them to get presented to me. Now, I say this because there's going to be sudden changes. There's opportunities at, as far as reconnecting. Okay. Now, with me saying this, it's going to come with certain endings, chosen ones. So the same way that after you encountered them, you were pursuing other people, you were looking for certain quality. Now you're going to realize that, dang, the things that you were looking for, this other person had. So you're like, dang, I want somebody who is a provider. So now you're looking through certain people. You're attracted to them because they look like they have that ability, but they don't. They're selfish minded. These are people who look the part, but don't play the part. So again, you could have felt like this past person, was all about money, but they were behind the scenes. They were making moves on behalf of you, but because they didn't communicate it, that it didn't come into fruition. Because they didn't include you with the intended plans, you didn't believe that it was coming. You understand me? So there's some people, chosen ones, that had big plans behind the scenes that you were self-sabotaging those things. This would be like you getting upset because somebody's being quiet during the day. What if you realized that they were planning your celebration? What if you started to realize that they were planning a relocation? What if you realized that they were planning your proposal? So certain things are getting presented pertaining to you. Now, there are going to be people who are going to be upset with either this reconnect or as far as this new relationship. So it's not just somebody that you could have dealt with, and even the people that you felt like you dealt with, you may not have dealt with them. I want you to be honest. Did you guys even say that you were in commitment, or did you just play that position? Because there's some of you telling yourself that so-and-so cheated on you, so-and-so lied, but you kept secrets too. You may not have been, so involved. When I say secret shows, it's not that you were being sneaky. I say secrets pertaining to, okay, you may have found out that they were pursuing somebody or talking to somebody else. You guys were not together. You could have just felt, again, you wanted them to step up and play a position. They may have felt like they missed their opportunity, so they could have pursued other people, right? So you could have sat there and made that assumption when really you're the one that they wanted, but they'll get karma, or they experience karma, because their life will start to reflect that person that they attracted. So that person that they're with, they're unhealed, they're traumatic, toxic, drama, their finances will start dwindling. Their excitement, they'll start to get headaches because certain people were attempted to mentally, spiritually, and energetically manipulate them. There's certain people that were trying to be you to receive the same things that this individual was given to you. So there's some people that try to fake pregnancies, chosen ones. I'm going to be honest. There's some people that when you get in lines with this person, there's people that wish that this person would have got it together for them, or they felt like this person misled them, and they could have. The person may have really had intentions, so I'm just going to get over so-and-so. They felt like they missed their chance with you, so they were forcing themselves to try to go out and find another individual. It's not that they intended to mislead them, but they mislead them by telling them that they wanted to be with them, or they tried to say love you to try to persuade themselves to be in love with that individual. So just be mindful. It's not that they're trying to plot or whatever, but just like you were attempting or are attempting or are moving on from certain things, right? So the same pertaining to them. They're going to realize that the person that they're with, or the person that they try to move on to, they really were with them because they showed them certain signs of you, but it wasn't you, right? So now I'm telling you, certain people, chosen ones, are going to get presented. Now, when I tell you that certain people that, again, there's people that they may have moved on to or attempted to, that closures are going to end, and these individuals are going to want to try to make their presence known. So they're going to be upset because the things that they plan to do with this person, some of them try to do spiritual attacks and attachments to them. Some of them try to use sex spells or that Jezebel spirit to persuade them to stay in that illusion. Some of them chosen ones were putting shit in their food. Some of these people were, again, they were well aware of you, but that individual that they were connected to may not have knew, right? So this is somebody that you could have talked to that moved on to another individual. That person that they moved on to encountered you, came across you, seen that this person, certain things was mysterious. They did their investigation and they tried to become you in order to be with them. They wanted to see, you understand why this person selected you, why this person was holding on to you. So they try to portray to be that person. Sometimes, again, I say be mindful for tarot card readers, readings. It's not nothing bad, but even when you come to me as a prophetess, you have to be mindful because you have to know the energy of the person that we're talking about. Because sometimes God will tell us, don't give no descriptions of their physical, because they need to start being able to use their intuition of the individual that God is talking about, right? So there's some of you that you're feeling like, oh, because it's saying an earth sign is your love or a fire sign is love, you're assuming that it's a specific person, but you have multiple placements in your chart. So there's a sun sign. So say, for instance, myself, I'm a Sagittarius, but my moon sign is a Cancer, is a water sign, right? Now I can tell you, because you can't play in my energy. You try to play with me, you're going to get fucked up, right? So let's just make that clear. But I'll say this, there's earth and air placements all through my chart as well, right? So depending on the mood that you are in, you're going to present yourself as that sign. So they could have been feeling like, oh, this person is the person because they keep saying this sign in there and this person, but the whole time, that's not the person that they were talking about. Your person that you was with could have been operating out of a karmic side of them and you felt like, so again, certain things are going to get clear to you. All right. Now you're getting a second opportunity at love. Now with this, you're going to see certain things positively start to come in fruition for you. So this would be like, if this was your twin, your soulmate, whatever the case may be, you and your twin are finally going to be in alignment, because when you were available, they may not have been mentally available. When you were available, they may have not financially been available. When you were vice versa, or you wasn't available when they were. They wanted to love, but you didn't believe them. You were still holding certain past against them, right? So I say this because you have to trust that certain people change, okay? You also have to trust your intuition, but do not allow your past to hold you back. So if this person represents themselves and you see as far as progression, you have to cut off the past ties that you had to them. So you're going to have to let that go. And some of you, it's going to be hard because there's certain things that you want to know, questions you want to ask, but at the same time, chosen ones, you're stepping into a new life, okay? This is like somebody holding something against you. No, you wouldn't want it because so you could have been somebody who used to be triggered, used to snap on people, used to yell, used to be mad. Now you don't react the way that you did. You don't want people holding your past against you, still talking about how you used to be like this or be. No, you want them to accept you for who you are now, because you were who you were based upon things that have went down and happened. Okay, so just know that you're not the only one that has the opportunity to change. And if you take that opportunity and God's co-signing, and not all of you chosen ones are getting guided to a person that you already encountered. Not all of you. Some of you, you have true love, new love that's coming through, that's going to come with a relocation. But I say this because you're going to see that some people, again, that you encountered, they already had everything, but because you were in a stressful state of your life, because you had certain things going on with you inside, that you guys may not have realized that both of you had the tools to build more things to get presented to you. And now you're seeing that. So you could have tried to find the person that you had encountered in the past through other people. And now you're realizing like, nah, if I have to choose this person, I got to settle for this. Whereas the new person seen that you wasn't settling for that shit and they made corrections to it. So just be mindful, because again, it's not everybody. Okay. Now I say take self-accountability, because you have to make sure that you're not playing that position to other people as well. You don't want to keep that karmic cycle going. So karmic cycles can be closed by you closing the door with that person Sometimes. So just by you disconnecting from that person physically, some of you think, oh, the cycle's closed. No. It's something that the reason why you attracted that person, it'll still go with you. So there's some of you, when you say, if I say, have you been cheated on? You're like, oh yeah, John. So you have multiple people, but the one thing that remained the same was you. So yes, what happened to you changed, but the person who did the thing to you changed, right? So I'll say this, or you remained the same in the same scenario. So that means that it was connected to you. It's not always the blame for other individuals. That's like you chosen ones blaming everybody else for certain things that's going down. And it really could be you, your way of thinking. You feeling like certain people, you're not worth somebody changing for. You're not worth somebody choosing. You're not believing that they like you or that they love you. You have to look in their actions, because there's some of you chosen ones, and I'm telling you, you are chasing somebody new thinking that they're a better individual, when this person that you may have encountered before, that y'all's cycles took y'all in two different areas of y'all's life. You had things you had to heal, things you had to be, so that you could be what you needed to be for that person, right? So I say this because there's some of you that you're expecting that new person to be, oh, the best person. But again, they could have money, the ability to provide, but they're selfish. Whereas that other person, they're doing small gestures to you or for you to show you that they love you, but you may just look over it like, oh, that's what they got to do because of this. So this would be like you having an issue, or you needing something, and the person from the past or somebody you used to be connected with, they assist you with that. You just shrugging that off because you persuade yourself that you are not romantically interested because of what you encountered with them, what you were feeling at that time when you were connected to them. So you're just shrugging it off, when these are the people that's making the most actions to actually show you something. Now, again, they could have started new lives somewhere else, but it's because they may have felt like they missed their chance. So as soon as you show, God is going to have endings occur. So the person that they was with, certain things are about to close out. I'm talking about there may be an opportunity. Well, there may be situations where they have to choose between you and the individual. There may be positions, chosen ones, where again, after ending, you're somebody who aligns with them during that time where y'all both are available. You go through certain closures or endings or so on and so forth. Now you're going to be where they were, where they have other new options coming in, but the person that they were connected to was the person who played that position, right? Hear me out. So when you were encountered them, they may have had new options come in. And because of what they were feeling at that time, they may have tried to take the best way out. So this is like, say you guys were together and you needed to come with an accord, or you guys needed to balance, but you could have been stressed about your area, or you feeling like you didn't do things, you wanted things for you. They could have felt like you were ungrateful because they were doing certain things and they were only doing it to provide for you, whatever the case may be, vice versa, so on and so forth, right? I say this because they, chosen ones, may have new opportunities got presented to them, and they felt like, oh, well, this one comes with less burdens. Because there's some people that they'll find people to have fun with because they're like, oh, they need to be calm outside of home, or they feel like they stressed, or they feel like, so they'll find somebody to just temporarily uplift them, right? So then chosen ones, when it goes to now that person that they connected to that they just felt like was a friend, now that person starts to want more. Now they feel trapped in a situation. Now they're sitting there staying in that where they don't want to be a villain, because sometimes you have to be a villain in somebody else's story to be a hero in someone else's, right? So they may have started to realize like, damn, this person that I selected because they seemed like they was more available, they seemed like they was more interested, because you could have been stressed, you could have been fed up. So you could have started to pull yourself back and less interested in them. This is you not excited to see them. This is when you around them, you're not loving them and hugging on them. Thank you so much, Queen. So on and so forth, right? So they could have found somebody else that was willing to show attention to them. That wasn't their person. That was just a distraction. So when all of a sudden time passed and they start to realize this person is more fucked up or required more work than the things that you were requiring. So they're thinking like, yo, if I'm going to sit there and make changes and adjustment, I'm going to do it for the right person. But God had them encounter those people so that they don't get to ruin the opportunity that's going to get presented with you. So they go through certain lessons where now they're being nicer. Now they're being more considerate. Now all of the things that they needed to be for you initially, they're learning these things through different experiences and lessons with somebody else, so that when the second opportunity gets presented, that that everything's going to work out. So sometimes you have to realize that other people will prepare you for the person that is for you. This is so, okay, you learning how to love. You learning how to be happy. You're learning how to work with your circumstances. Because there's some of you that you felt like they chose people over money over you. So then you started to be money motivated. Then you started to turn into that person where you're wanting to pursue somebody who got some money too. And so no, the wealth is within you. You already got the tools that you need. You don't need anybody else to get those things. But the right person chosen ones, the right opportunity presented to the right person chosen one, the person who's stepping up and playing a position chosen ones, God will reward both of you for doing the right thing. So this could be, now I'll give you an example, okay? For instance, for my mother and my father's side, I'll tell you the karmic cycles connected to them. So for my mother's side, that I had to clear out the cycle on behalf of her is her confidence. So this is somebody that my mother is talented. She was she's still alive, but she went through certain things. So, you know what I'm saying? The exterior may not match the inside right now. No disrespect, but I'll say this. My mother, she had to learn love. She tried to find love in certain individuals who did not see her worth, right? So she sat there and put herself to the side and felt like the thing that was going to save her was being in a relationship with somebody else, right? So there's goals that she never achieved because she didn't believe in her. She always needed, as far as people to acknowledge her, she needed a cheer team the whole time. So God sat there and removed everybody out of her life that she was dependent on. At that time period, my father passed away. At that time period, her parents passed away. All her siblings, like her uncles, my mother's whole family, passed away within a year or within 1 to 5 years. There was 10, 11 people that was gone, right? I say this because that was a lesson for her. She was dependent on them. She never would have moved because she said that, her family was there. They provided for her. They gave for her. She never tried as hard because her parents, my grandparents had money. So when she needed something, they replenished it for her. She never, as far as even pretend, she had always had a babysitter. So she never sat there and got her independence, right? She stayed in the same location that she was born in. She stayed at a job for many years that she was familiar with. She worked with a sibling. She was dependent on them. She never sat there and found confidence within herself, right? She chased love. God gave her the ability to give birth to 7 children that had the ability to pour love into her. But instead, she chased certain karmics because she didn't believe in her. Now, let me say this. My father's side. My father was all about himself at some parts. Now, he was a loving father, but he was not a good man as far as a lover, right? This is somebody who had multiple options. People showed attention to him. At times, his Jezebel spirit or his lustful energy would allow him to sexually be involved with them. He stayed on the go. This is somebody who had many jobs. He worked all the time. He did not always have time for his children, but he did provide for them. But for us, we excited. I put him on that pedestal when I had time with him. But when it comes down to reality, there could have been more time or dedication that he put into his children. He had to choose. But at that time, he was selfish minded in a sense. He was focused about himself and Jezebel's, right? Not only that, chosen ones, he had certain traits to him that he had to fix. Because again, he was a good father, but he was not a good man. He had, as far as certain people that he poured into, he misled these individuals. Now, these are the cycles, right? Now, I say this because as somebody who was assigned to break cycles, I'm somebody that, no, early on, okay, what my mother couldn't do, fuck out of here. I would never choose no masculine over my children. Absolutely not. I'm a dedicated mom. You understand me? I'll never put my children in a position where anything could harm them. I'm somebody who's going to pour life into them, always show up for them. That's something that my mother didn't do. I'm somebody that I had to learn to have my confidence because growing up, my father and my parents, they wasn't people who said, oh, you pretty, you this. They were all focused about what you have the ability to do in certain energy within. So I had to learn to be confident confident within myself. I had to learn to like my appearance and actually see that when people compliment me, it's not trying to be funny, because I was taught that looks was not everything. So therefore, I didn't realize that certain people were even physically attracted to me because I didn't look for those things, because I'm all about what's within, right? So I say this, chosen ones, because I had to be the one who separated myself from the cycle. I moved. Soon as I graduated when I was 17, soon as I graduated, I moved the next day. I graduated on a Friday. I was gone by Saturday. I moved, right? I sat there and disconnected from everybody that I was connected to, as far as family, as far as certain toxicity. I'm like, no, my mother was somebody who depended on people to provide for her. So up into her parents were the providers. Where she needed something for bills, they had it. Like, they were abundant. They worked hard. They was established. There's somebody who had sowed seeds to pass down to certain generations, right? So she was somebody that she depended on other people to provide for her. So I had to go through the cycle where I encountered certain relationships where, yes, they were able to provide for me financially, but I didn't feel fully fulfilled within. Now, there were times that I felt a certain type of way because the person was providing for me, but I didn't feel good about me not doing anything to receive certain things. So I self-sabotage, because that person was really providing to put me in position to find my purpose, but I took it as, oh, you're trying to restrict. Now, did they have certain tendencies or intentions at that time to also keep me locked away because, they could have felt like somebody else could have had me? Absolutely. But I self-sabotage too, because everybody used to say, oh, I want to be like you. I want to be where I don't have to worry about things. And so, but I'm like, well, I felt like something was missing. I want to be somebody who has something to pour in, because there's times that I may have been smart with that person because I was just sad because I wasn't able to do nice things that I wanted to do at that time for them. Or I was upset because I didn't want to put pressure on them to provide for me. And I seen that they were stressed about working. So it's certain things, chosen ones, where, again, you're going to look back and realize, okay, you may not have always seen things clearer. You could have felt like they was restricting you because of what you went through, past relationships, or you was hard on you because you knew what you wanted to do. But at that time, that person just wanted you to be you, be free, right? So you're going to start seeing those things. Now, with me saying this, my father's side. So I had to gain my independence. I got my purpose. I pour into my children. They know what their purpose is too. They started up their businesses. Like this is somebody that I found my identity. So things that my mom wasn't confident in being seen. Although I'm somebody who typically likes staying behind the scene, God was like, no, I need you to make yourself seen. My mother was somebody who was insecure. She didn't know she was beautiful. She didn't know that she was talented. She felt like she didn't realize that a lot of people was trying to pursue her. She doubted herself, which, you understand, placed her in a position that she's in now. Now, for my father, he passed away when I was younger, but there's still a cycle that was connected to him. One, my father was somebody who was funny. He was adventurous. When I tell you my father, he was on stage with MC Light. He was rapping, like won freestyle battles. He was good at singing, basketball, track. When I tell you anything that he touched, he was talented. Absolutely. Was he a loving father? Absolutely. But there's certain things that he prioritized over the things that he needed to pour into. So because his decisions, he chose not to listen when God was telling him certain things needed to stop, God removed him because he would have caused more harm. You understand? So God was like, listen, so he had him pass away. Now, because of his cycle, I used to attract masculines that had similar ways to them. So these were players, right? These were people who had a lot of people that were interested in them. These were people who, just because somebody showed them attention or somebody seems like they could be free with them, they felt like it was better for them, right? So there's times where I attracted masculines that they didn't always show their love and affection. They may have showed it through other ways. So they may not have expressed it verbally, but physically, financially, they did those things, right? Now, for me, because this is a lesson that I had to learn where you can't buy me, you can't bribe me. I want reciprocation. I wanted love. So yes, I love that you provide, but at the same time, I want to feel love with you. I want to feel safe with you. I want to feel like you're not accessible to other individuals. I want to know that. So it's a freedom, right? So when you're with somebody that you're unsure about, or because you have insecurities within you, you may be holding this person versus Hasha's in a sense where you don't want them to go out. You don't want them to go have fun because you feeling like, oh, if they do, they're going to find. You have to be confident in you. Now, with me saying this, chosen ones, my cycle was, okay, either I find a masculine who is not like my father, completely different. So that will break my mother's cycle, attracting masculines like that. Or I could sit there or there's going to be a masculine that had ways like my father that is going to choose to step up and be in his purpose. So this would be somebody who was a ladies' man, somebody who was a provider, but they may have prioritized finances over love in a sense. They may not have always been able to show love and affection because they were symbolized, like the symbol of them was the protector, the alpha male. So my father, they called him Tiger, right? He's somebody that they always, he symbolized strength. Everybody needed somebody. He came on the defense of them. He was the fighter. He was the police loved and hated his ass. He out here, I'm telling you, like my father, the police loved, it was a love-hate because they talk shit all day. He'd run from the police, hide, almost like a hide and seek. They laugh about it. His ass get booked, come back out, whatever the case may be. Like, I ain't gonna lie. My father was an adventurous person, okay? But now I can encounter somebody who's had similarities like my dad, but chose to, I'm gonna step up and play the position. Yes, these people, these Jezebel spirits can offer or tempt me, but I'm not going to pour into these individuals because they're not good for me. So you're going to see your independence, okay? Now, with me saying this, oh yes, RIP too. Definitely sending my condolences, love and light to your brother as well as you. But I will say this. So my father, again, he had responsibilities. His mother had certain illusions and confusion on him. His family expected him to be a certain way. So what was expected of him did not reflect who he wanted to be because he had softer conversations with my mother. But this came at a time where he was about to pass away. See, my father passed away in an accident, for those who don't know, 4th of July. So he passed away, got in an accident on the 4th of July, like almost midnight type of vibe. And I say my father is so strong, but again, certain decisions that he made at that time actually led to his demise. So it was, I'll give you a small story. 4th of July, him and my mother, they had like a little small argument. Now, when I tell you my mother and my father, I never seen as far as fights around me growing up. My father never put his hands on us, disciplined. Like I never see no craziness. You understand? You understand as far as that. But with me saying this, my father, he led to his own demise because God told him there's certain things that he needed to switch up in his life. You need to take a step back, be more present with your children. You don't have to go out and do this. You don't have to. So my father chose not to. That night, he didn't get to see us for 4th of July. Him and my mother had a little argument. We were going to go. We got out of his car and he went about his business. Instead of going home or staying home, he chose to go out with his friends drinking. Now, they said that night that he was drinking, he didn't even drink much. They said, again, because prior to that, he knew that he was going to go. Certain things, the clarity started to come in. He started apologizing to people for things that he did. So he knew, because this is something that death arrived to him a few times. You understand? He survived it. So this last time, chosen ones, I say this because he led to his demise because he chose to go out drinking. And although he did not drink, he chose to go there, right? I think he did sip, they say, but they say he didn't drink nothing really, right? His blood alcohol level was like real low, but he chose to go drinking. Had he listened, he would have been safely at the house. Had he would have chose something else, but he had to because every time those things got presented, he still took the wrong route, right? So he passed away. He actually dozed off for a little bit, hit a telephone pole, the car caught on fire, everything burnt up except for the back of the car where the Bible was, literally where we would sit. That's the whole part. So his car, it was a red neon back in the day, you know, the neons. The whole car went in flames, but the part where the Bible was stayed and remains, right? He didn't burn up. Luckily, it was a full circle moment. Somebody that my mother went to school with, the firewoman, she actually pulled him out of the car. He didn't burn or nothing like that. They brought him back to life. He passed away again. But I say this because there's some people that you really have the decision on your longevity. There's some of you will not keep getting options to make the same mistakes again. So that's you out here sleeping around with multiple people. You may come in contact with something. This is you prioritizing other things over. A lot of you, your life is getting cursed because you're not being there for your children. You're not being there for you. You're prioritizing other things over what is really reflection of you. So now the decisions that you made up into this time, a lot of them are going to come to an ending because you're realizing that these are not the things that you wanted with this person from the beginning. So I say this because you have a new opportunity at love. You got a new opportunity at what you want for yourself. Have you always played the perfect position? No, chosen ones. But now that you're aware, now that you're going to realization, you have the opportunity, chosen ones, to make better decisions. Okay. So prioritize. Again, my mother and my father's cycle are both going to get broken by me and my divine masculine making the right decision. Us finally being on accord, us finally deciding like, okay, the things that you want or that I wanted, you have those things, but it was only slight adjustments that you had to make. Whereas you was willing to accept somebody new that you had to make those same adjustments to, but this person could be less dedicated to you. So it's the energy that you have to know. So again, if you get confused, because I don't want you to, because I always say if the past is present, the future is absent. But you have to realize that the past is not going to be present in the person from the past because they healed or they learned. Not everybody. So if you're wondering, because it does feel like you're going to get an opportunity at love, and people may not like it. People may not understand. It may be that person that you were so loud about that you would never date again because you were so invested in them. Your feelings were so hurt about the situation. But then looking back, you're like, you might have been tripping too. Because again, a lot of y'all are talking about people cheating on you and lied on you, but you weren't with that individual. And in your head, you claimed them, but y'all never established a title. In your head, you could have felt like they shouldn't have talked to somebody, or because you found out they could have took it further with somebody than you did with somebody else, you still had options as well. So even though y'all wasn't together, you could have felt like you was dedicated. And when you found out that they were still doing them, you could have had options that you didn't pursue, but it doesn't mean that you didn't have them. You understand? So now you get to start on a fresh slate. So now, chosen ones, if this is somebody from the past that's coming back, do not think about the past. This is a whole new revamped version of you. So although as hard as it may feel, you're going to have to let go of certain things too. You're going to have to step outside of yourself to see a clear view. Now, if this is not the person that was beating on you. This is not, but I will say some of this. There's some of you that was in abusive relationships, chosen ones, where you was the aggressor as well. So there's some of you where y'all was some unk-ass drunks. Y'all was drinking. You was a unk too. You was a karmic. You was putting your hands on that individual, or you was disrespecting them too, or whatever the case may be. So that physical shit, absolutely not. All right. Somebody who even brings that, no. So right now I'm telling you, because there's people from the past that's about to get mad that you don't want them. Motherfucker, they tried it, they want to. You better hit that 911 quick. All right. So I want you to know that some people are going to they're going to be upset that you're moving on to another individual, or they're going to be upset that you chose somebody else, or whatever the case may be. There's some people that's going to feel like, oh, well, you've been seeing this person the whole time because no. But what it's supposed to happen is going to happen. So some people you're going to have to let go. Some people you have to be open for a new opportunity, okay? It's going to make sense because the same thing that was preventing them for finding love is the same thing that was preventing you from finding love. And that's because you two were supposed to find it together. So they could have tried to move on, tried to start over. Thank you so much, babies. Hey, Deborah. They may have tried to move on, but it just moved them closer to you. Everything that they seen about the person was a reminder of you. Some of them was settling, and their lesson is going to be learned by them getting exposed of that. So this could be, if they didn't make a decision, now they're going to be forced to make that choice. So which decision are they going to choose? The person who is trying their best to imitate you, the person who's trying their best to replace you, the person who's trying to, in a sense, trap that individual, because some of these people are attached to witches and warlocks. They may come across so loving, so caring, so nurturing. Shorty seem like she feeding you every day because she love you, but she putting shit in the food to attack and attach to you. She could seem like, oh, well, she loves that you're a parent, but she's really mad and doing spiritual attacks on your children because she knows as long as they're present, you're not going to do something for her or him. So some of you chosen ones have people that were really attacking certain people that you love because they wanted the things that they had. So this could be, say that person was a provider, a protector, loving, nurturing for you. They try to have that person or trick that person into being as things for them that they wouldn't naturally do. They may have been nice to them, but you understand? So just be mindful, because some of these karmics was really trying to persuade your partner and try to portray themselves as you. Some of these karmics are going to be coming out here lying about pregnancies. Now I say be mindful, because some of them are going to say that they was pregnant or pregnant now that you're no longer connected to them. In due time, it may come back out that they was lying. Or so be careful, because there's a lot of trapping energy right now. So there's people that's trying to trap themselves in pregnancies because they feel like the person, if they leave, if they stick around, if they have a child by them, they're going to get their bills paid. They're going to be taken care of. They're going to get placed on that pedestal, which is not true. Because if they trap themselves or try to trap somebody to have a child, you're going to be unhappy because that person is still going to be a parent to that child, but they're not going to be connected to you. So just be mindful, because some of these people, again, you out here trying to get trapped and you're going to be in the wrong situation. You still going to be unhappy. And you put yourself in that situation because you were trying to force this person to father or mother your child who you knew was in love with somebody else. You understand? So just be mindful. Now, with me saying this, are there going to be lies about fake pregnancies? Yes. In attempts to have you to have relations with them, have sex with them, to actually put them in that position. So right now you're going to have to make a choice between two. What are you going to do? All right. Now, those who are in this position know if this ain't for you, this ain't for you. But just be mindful, because again, if there was certain pregnancies or whatever, they're not going to be with them. If there was certain false pregnancies, it's going to come out that that wasn't their child in a sense. Like certain things, the clarity is going to come up. All right. Now you're going to have to be able to see if those are things that you're willing to accept, because this could be a child that was conceived when you wasn't connected to them. Then y'all reconnect and you find out about it. But again, you have to know that not everything that's being said is true, because some people are going to come there with stories. They're going to try to say all of these things, persuade you to disconnect from this individual. And you're going to find out that they was out here adding stories and shit to it. Okay, so just be mindful, because not everything that comes to light or the truth that comes out is true. Okay, there's various sides of it. Now, will this person that was in the middle have to speak their truth? Absolutely. And you'll be able to know. Now, where some things unknown right now, where some things they still in the process of working out, so you may not know everything. Yes, but you're going to know based upon their actions, their decisions, their commitment. Okay, you're going to see who they choose. You're going to see the dedication. A lot of you are about to be proposed to. A lot of you are about to be in relationships. A lot of you are about to be moving, and it's going to pop up instantly. So the people that you had as options are about to get cut off. The whole time before the ball even got rolling, the shit then rolled off because they didn't step up quick. So again, don't think that new is always better, but don't always think that the past that resurfaces is somebody that you have to reconnect with. Okay, so if you want to know, babies, I promise you I got you, but you got moves coming. I'm talking about you could have just signed your lease and it's about to be ended that quick. You gonna have the little 2 months, 3 months to pay to break it. I'm trying to tell you, okay? There's some of you chosen ones that you have a baby that's gonna be conceived. You could have been celibate for a long time, and then all of a sudden, things happen. And you'll be pregnant, and you may not plan it, because now you could be somebody who's trying to pace yourself, and God's going to bless you with these blessings. It's going to be a pop-up blessing. So unexpected. A lot of you have trips. You could have felt like, when God's telling you you're going on trips with your person and going on vacation, you could have felt like it was that new person about to fly you out. The whole time, it could be the person that you've been around, that you've been taking little trips with, celebration with, and you felt like it was somebody. And this this was the vacation that was expected. So this could be you going to a party or a birthday celebration and that person being there celebrating with you. And the whole time that was a trip that was necessary for you to align with your true divine individual. And you didn't know because you were looking all the way around for something new. You just knew that the shit that you had couldn't get revamped until you see, you understand? And some of them people didn't think that you would be able to be who you are to them, but you didn't got revamped. You didn't got refurbished. You didn't sat there and buffed down your hard surface. You didn't sat there and painted another picture. Now you understand you're valued and increased. So chosen ones, just know everything's happening for a reason. Be open to receive it. Do not limit you by thinking that you know what's best for you. No, you say, God, I ask you to align me with my true divine boo, the person that you see fit. God, I ask you to align me for that job position that you see fit. God, I ask you, because you're going to see, all right? Some of you have been telepathically communicating the whole time with a person, but because the antenna's been fucked up a little bit, you thought it was coming from this person, but it really was coming from somebody else. So you could have been feeling like, oh, well, this person was your true love, your future husband, your future wife, your partner. And the whole time, the signal was faded. They sat there and shifted certain shit intentionally so that you thought it was them, but it was somebody. So you understand? So just know that, all right? But I love you. I'm chosen ones. I will say this. Please check your email because those of you who did the buy one, get one, if you did not schedule your next reading, I may just start to combine them initially because I don't want you waiting for a second reading and we not have communication, okay? So just know I still got the buy one, get one. So this is the last day because starting tomorrow, chosen ones, everything on the site, some of the things are going to be no longer offered. Some things are going to change prices. So I say this is the last day. Take advantage of the prices. It's going to go up slightly, not too crazy, but some offer availability is not going to be offered anymore. But I have so many positive things in store. Also, babies, I got my books that are about to be available to you. When I tell you I got various books that have the breakdown, and I got a big book that has everything included in there, right? So, of course, the big book is going to have everything that the small books have and more information added, but it's going to be like a one-stop shop. Also, chosen ones, starting tomorrow, you will start to see tickets start to become available for my paints and prophecies, my certain events where we face to face. All right. Now, those who know, I only have a limited amount because I like to have a more personal as far as interaction with you. Again, as we're doing the paints and prophecies, I'm literally going to be reading you. You understand? It's going to be a group setting, so you'll know what's for you. I'll definitely most likely wear glasses so you don't even know that I'm looking at you, so you don't feel like people know your business automatic. But I'm telling you, it's something that's going to bring what's within to physical appearance, but it's also pictures that you're going to be able to take for you. I also have a lot of art that's going to be available that has messages in them. I have a lot of products that's going to be available for you too. But again, the links in my bio, I ask you to just follow me on YouTube because you may not see all the availability if TikTok does stop, okay? So I love you. I'm excited. Also, I will be reaching out to some of you chosen ones because I've encountered certain people that have mentoring abilities, people who have, so I'm going to be getting certain groups together where we're able to mentor other people. So I'm looking at masculines that would be able to speak their stories and their truth, have a group together where, again, you have to have a balance between feminines and masculines. So some people are like, oh, we're just going to focus about the masculines. Some are we only going to focus about the feminists. No, you have to have a feminine energy that can play a mother figure energy, a nurturing energy to certain masculines that didn't have that. Sometimes you need that masculine energy that could provide that father figure energy, that nurturing energy from a male perspective. So a lot of you chosen ones, you just haven't had your opportunity, and I'm going to present that for you. Also pertaining to music. As you see, some of my intro music that I have is based upon people who have made songs and sent them to me. So if you have certain music that you want to advertise to, I will end up having it where somebody puts together a 10 to 15 second clip pertaining to a perfect intro that you feel it would see fit for me. I will have a little as far as not necessarily a challenge, but as far as where you'll get paid for a quick little clip that could actually be used as far as the introductions. We have so many positive things. When I tell you we about to be city to city, baby, state to state. So places that I didn't get to see you last year or the year before face to face, we going to see each other this time, all right? But again, there's a lot of things that's going to be included, all right? We getting your mind, body, and soul aligned. So some of the mentorships that I have are actually going to be once a month. We can be physically in front of each other, where you're going to work on not only your mind, your body and soul aspect of it too. So that means we're going to get you back right as far as physically. I'm going to have, I'm partnering with certain businesses that actually have certain nutrients that are really good for your body. So as you're clearing out the negative and bringing in the positive, we're going to get your mind, body, and right too. It's going to be a one-stop shop. Okay. So a place where you can get your mind right and then go to the next area. Now you physically getting right. Now you leaving lifted, and we're going to do this monthly. All right. So, some of you monthly, some of you every other month, based upon the locations and also based upon your commitment. So the mentorship, it may be more high price for the in-person ones. Now I'll still have the ones where we can speak over the phone month to month, because some people that's the best for you, but there may be a one price that you have to pay in order to participate. So either I'm going to do one large, price where everything's included for those months, which is also like you come, there'll be like, or, certain things for you to do, so on and so forth included for you. Okay. So baby, when I tell you this our season, it's our season. Certain songs are about to come out as well, because y'all know I tell you I'm an artist, baby. I got that art, got that music, got the clothes. I'm so excited about all of us networking, all of us coming together. We are going to have a chosen one party too. So it's going to be in February, around February. I'll give you the dates. You'll see them tomorrow, but we'll have somewhere it's like the lovers. We're going to come and just mingle. It's going to be a positive chosen one family reunion. So for those of you who don't have family or don't have a tribe, we're going to come around and parlay with each other. All right. We're going to have fun. Okay. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Also, there's some of you chosen ones where we're about to have, I can't even tell you specifics. You're about to see, okay? So I love you so much. God was like, that's enough, so that's enough, all right? But I love you so much, babies. The link's in my bio. Please, I will say this. After today, New Year's, prices are going to change. Services are going to clear out. For those of you who booked from this or booked from this day or from, in the past, that's going to be honored. For those who book from starting tomorrow to future days, the prices are going to change. Services are going to, some available, some not. Okay. But I got audio books for you. I got physical books for you. I got some art for you that has, man, listen, I love y'all. I'm excited. Okay. So get excited. I love you. If you need me, you know how to reach me. Okay. Y'all continue to be great. You better speak positive things tonight. All right. Because tomorrow it's a whole new you. Okay. Happy New Year's. Y'all stay safe. I love you, okay?